always jump at the opportunity. All of our spare time is devoted to it.
Nice, cool. And the music video for Kylie is great. Total concept video, if you will. Were you involved in coming up with the storyline, the concept behind the video?
Actually, no, I was not. I wasn't even on set. I actually gave the palette to Douglas Quill, who directed some stuff for me in the past, and I love his eye. He wanted to address a couple some domestic violence, and then he threw in some sacrificial nuances in there with the girl escaping with her life, and I let him have it. I let him have free reign, and I said, Doug, I said, I don't know if you want some performance pieces in there, just let us know. We're on call, we're ready for you, and anytime he needs to come up to LA. But he wound up coming out here, didn't even know about it, and again, I just gave him free reign. I dig it.
Yeah, it's good stuff. And we don't have time to touch upon every single song, but what's the Hollingsworth session about? What is that song actually about?
So, Mark, I don't claim to be a poet by any means, and my lyrics are abstract.
Right.
So, I try not to. Every song, even Kylie, will mean something obviously totally different to me than what Douglas Quill thought. So the Hollingsworth session really was. That's my grandfather's name, his last name. His name was Marshall Hollingsworth, and there was some feelings of family and him passing that went along with that song and how it evokes some memories with me and Marshall. But I don't try to have, nor will I ever want anybody to say this is what the song's about. Basically, if a song makes you feel, and hopefully some of these do evoke some feelings of washing your day off, whether you had a horrible day or you want to escape, if only for 45 minutes. That's what this record's for. It's about leaving reality, if you will, and having it take you wherever it takes you.
Right.
So I try not to let the cat out of the bag too much, but it does. There are some personal feelings in regard to that piece, but I never. No one's asked me that question today. Today's been a press day, and nobody's asked me. So, looking at some of what your questions are, me having to really kind of search for an answer, it's bizarre for me, right, because I sometimes I don't know how to answer some of these questions because I've never been asked. What is this session about? Well, a session with my dear grandfather Marshall Hollingsworth.
Sure.
So
cool. Well, again, to my listeners, we are talking with John Garcia about the new album, The Coyote Who Spoke in Tongues. And, of course, we mentioned earlier one of the songs that is reinvented, remade, is the song Gardenia, an old Caius classic. And I think this new remake that you do is just a great version and very different version and haunting, like I said. That song, I always thought it was a little odd, and I wanted to get your take on this. This is a kind of off the beaten path question here. Your former bandmate in Caius, Josh, did a record with Iggy Pop not that long ago, and there was a song on the record, a different song than the old Caius song, called Gardenia, and wanted to get your thoughts on that. I don't know if you know that or if you had any insight to that. Is it just a coincidence or what?
I don't know. I hear that record is great, and I've heard bits and pieces of that Gardenia song, but I don't think that there's any connection, honestly. But That's a question for Iggy or Josh, but I personally would think that, and I'm not 100% sure that there's no connection. That's just a coincidence.
Right on. And I saw you with Caius Lives twice, actually. I saw you in New York City, and then I saw you out in Montclair, New Jersey, and was really digging what you were doing with that band, kind of bringing us back to the Caius stuff. And I know after that you went on to Vestacino, which featured Brant and Nick. And do you hear from Brant or Nick much anymore? You're still in contact with them?
Not too much.
Right.
I think they're busy with their projects, and I know those guys are they're the real deal, and music is their life, and that's all they do.
Right.
But I don't stay in contact too much with them anymore, and I just wish them all the best. And for me, I've got a full-time job. I help run an animal hospital here in Palm Springs, and
oh, cool.
Again, all my spare time is devoted to music, but again, I wish those guys nothing but the best.
Right on. And through the years, you've had a lot of different bands that you've been in and been involved with, and I guess it was 3 or 4 years ago where you started releasing music under just your name, John Garcia. Has that been a easier thing for you to do, to not kind of have a band and be a solo artist and name? I know you're working with other people, but is there a benefit to just using your name and not having a band name? Absolutely.
One, I've always wanted to do it, and there's an incredible amount of freedom when it comes to the direction that I want to go to. If I want to listen to, Kylie Tiela through a 6-band EQ versus a 12-band EQ, it's done. And there's no question. Right. There's producers involved that will maybe rule against it, but ultimately it's my decision. So I really enjoy the fact that, and there's an incredible amount of freedom with it, and I can do what I want to do, when I want to do it, how I want to do it, and it's liberating. So I like this path that I'm on, and this acoustic record was a surprise, but it's just an ode to having that freedom and being able to do what I want to do. And there's no rules, there's no directions in regards to my life and or what songs I can and cannot put on a record. It's my God-given right to record and sing any song that I want to sing. As long as I give where credit is due, and I do that. That my path is very different than any other musician. But I certainly I'm still a fan, Mark. I'm still a fan of music.
Right.
I still listen to music loud in my car. I still genuinely enjoy playing and writing with Aaron. Aaron's a great songwriter, great guitar player, and again, he needs to get a lot of credit for some of these songs. He co-wrote these songs, these newer ones, the Hollingsworth session, he even did Chord Order's an instrumental track on my record, and he wrote it.
Right.
Well, why did I put somebody else's song on there? Well, there were supposed to be lyrics originally to that music, but it wound up ruining the song, so we pulled them, and again, he deserves a ton of credit, but sorry for that long-winded answer, but yes, an incredible amount of freedom, and I'm not planning on deviating from this path at all anytime in the near future.
Now, do you think you and Aaron will get out on the road to do acoustic sets and promote the record? Is that in
we will.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yes, come March we're gonna. It's got to make sense in every single way, including financially. So Europe, there's a bigger market where we're able to go over there and tour and not go broke doing it. When you have 2 kids, it's got to make sense in every single way. I get a lot of comments and criticism. Why don't I tour in the States? Well, I can't. I have to pay to play.
Right.
And I'm by any means am I rich. And so it doesn't make sense. So, but yet we still want to tour. I'm not making millions of dollars, and hundreds or tens of thousands of dollars with even a European tour. But at least it does make a little bit more sense to go over there and help support it. And plus, there's a market for it over here. Here, even in my hometown, I'd be lucky to get 10 people.
Right.
So it just makes more sense. So we're going to go over to Europe in March, and then we're going to go back over in April with the full band and test out some of these newer songs that we're writing for the new electric record, and we're going to take it from there.
Cool. One last question for you, John. When with Caius, you guys put out a bunch of records and you toured and you worked hard on what you were doing back then, but it seems like if you will, the legend of Caius and the popularity of the band really seemed to grow after the band had stopped existing. Yeah, broke up. And I guess my question to you is how does that make you feel? Is that something that is like, well, awesome, finally people are catching on to it? Or was it frustrating being that it took people a long time to kind of come to to Caius, and you guys weren't even around after people started really raving about you guys?
Like, where were all these fucking people when we were together type of attitude? And I have thought about that. But, it's like, I think it's more of, I don't know, there's some different views, but if a Frank Kozik poster goes out of print, I think it becomes more valuable and people really want that piece. So it's almost like that. But I'm appreciative of the fact that kids are still passing, what used to be tapes, but now MP3s or records now. They're still handing that stuff down. Hey, have you heard this band? Have you heard this band? And I certainly still do that to this day. Hey, trip out on this band. Have you heard this song from Sugartooth? I didn't know it was on the B-side, or and it's Caius is lucky enough to be still kind of thrown around and passed around via MP3 or CDs or records, and I'm very lucky and very appreciative to the fact that people still dig that music, and I'll always be known for the singer Caius. I know that, and I'm again very appreciative of and just grateful and really blessed by having been part of that band, especially when Brent and Josh were together as a writing force. That was really cool to see those two guys working together. That was the special part for me in Caius, seeing those two guys in Josh's bedroom or in Brent's bedroom really working things out. That was special. And to be a part of that I'm super grateful.
Awesome. Great stuff. John, it's been great talking with you. And again, the new record, The Coyote Who Spoke in Tongues, it'll most likely be out by the time we have this posted on the website. So to the listeners, please go check it out. We'll have links up in today's show notes where you can go purchase it and download it on Amazon.com. And John, have a great afternoon. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, Mark. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay.
Have a great evening.
Best of luck.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Kylie by John Garcia. That is off the new acoustic record, which again is called The Coyote Who Spoke in Tongues. Check that out. It'll be out in just a couple days, so definitely go buy it. We'll have it linked through today's show notes on talkingmetal.com. And we'll end things here with a email. Hey, Mark, I just wanted to let you know I'm a big fan all the way from Sao Paulo, Brazil. Love the podcast. Keep up the good work. If I may, I would like to request a song to be played at one of the episodes. It's from a really underground progressive metal band from Brazil. The guys are all virtuosos, and the production is just unbelievable. The song is Brutal Behavior from the band Jack the Joker. You can find it on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube. It's from their second album, Mors Volta, one of my favorites of 2016. Hope you and the listeners like it. Cheers from Milton. Hey, Milton, greetings. Hope all's well down there in Brazil. let me just pop on to iTunes and make sure I can actually buy this tune and play it for you guys.